Hi everybody, welcome back to another lesson in my Burgmuller's Opus 100 for solo learners course. In this video we're going to learn number 21, Harmony of the Angels. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and if you like what you see, give this video a thumbs up. Also, I offer online piano lessons. If you're looking for one, there's going to be information below. And if you'd like to get this special edition of Burgmuller's Opus 100 specifically for solo learners with enhanced guidance, links will be below too. Number 21, Angels' Voices or Harmony of the Angels, is a beautiful piece, and as the name says, it's supposed to resemble angels. So it's something very flowing, it's something very harmonious. And the study is written very interestingly that the two hands basically form one continuous melody. In 99% of the cases, I always say learn a piece hand separately first, right and left hand. But in a very small number of cases, it's actually better to go straight hands together from the start because it's going to make more sense. Since the two hands complete each other, they are not accompanying each other, they are not subordinate to each other. The melody is completely built of broken chords which basically start in the left hand, go into the right and come back. So it's basically a wave, like a wave in the ocean going from the left to the right and coming back. And the difficulty is to keep these broken chords very clean and even, but also to completely hide the place where the melody transitions from the left hand into the right hand, so you do not have an obvious break point where you can tell that the melody is going from the left to the right. I'll show you that in a second. So let's have a look. We have three sections. We have an A section, which is in G major, then it goes briefly into E minor in the B section, and then the A section returns in the end and it finishes a little bit differently, so we have a coda. There are some repeat signs that I didn't do to make this video shorter, so let's start with the A section. Our tempo mark is allegro moderato, so fast but not insanely fast, so moderately fast. But again, you have quite a wide range of acceptable speeds here since this is a learning piece or a study. And we are in the key of G major, so every F is going to be F sharp, don't forget that. We are in 4/4, so common time, we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, but the rhythm is almost the same in every single bar, so it's not so much the counting that matters here, but feeling the pulse. So I'm going to show you first the first bar, because there we've got a pattern. We've got two different patterns in the piece, and the first pattern you can see there. So we have a G major chord, and we have a G major chord in the right hand as well. Left hand is going to be 5, 3, 1, and 1, 2, 4 in the right hand, because we need number 5 for the E. Now, as you can see, these notes are in groups of threes because they are triplets, so 3/8 fit into one beat. So ti 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 ti, blueberry, 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 and that's our rhythm. Now it's gonna go like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the only note we're going to hold is the last one in the right hand where you see the quarter note, so that's held for the whole beat, but otherwise none of the notes are supposed to be sustained even if you use the pedal. Pedaling is optional, you can play it with the pedal to create a more angelic sound, or you can play it without the pedal. When you learn the piece, it's extremely important to not use the pedal so you can hear the clarity of your playing and to make sure that you hear any unevenness in the rhythm or the sound. The pedal can mask quite a lot of that, so it's very important to not use it in the beginning. So as I said, that was the rhythm, and as you could see, the melody was going from left to right, and I created an arched shape with my arms as it was moving from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And obviously I'm exaggerating it now so you can see it on the camera, but you need to create that movement between the left and the right hand. And the worst thing that can happen is that there's a gap when you transition from left to right hand like this. It's good, ta-ta-ta, ta-ta-ta. So we have to make sure the triplets are all equal notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Use a metronome if you want to and set it to triple speed so you get one click for each note. And be very careful when you get to the last note of the left hand and the first note of the right hand. Do not release the last note of the left hand until the first note of the right hand is depressed. So holding down the D, G goes down, the left hand comes up. And this way you get a connected sound between the left and the right hand. Now let's see the notes again. So G major, and then an E, and back the same way, holding the G and B. And that's the first bar. The second bar is the exact same. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And since we have a rising and a falling melody, so basically an arch, every time we go up, we can do a little bit of crescendo, and when we come down, we do a diminuendo. So getting louder and getting quieter, but not too much. Just a subtle dynamic shading to make it more interesting. When we go to bar 3, the pattern changes. We're going to have left, right, and we are going up and coming down, but it's not continuing the same way. You'll see it here. So first we have a C major chord, G, C, E, G, C, E. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I was going up and the right hand is coming down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then the same left hand, 1, 2, 3, but a C major in root position, G, E, C. Now, really important, if you want to help your learning process, you might want to practice this as blocked chords first. So C major, C major, C major, C major, G major, G major, G major, G major. And if you block out the chords like this and play them for one beat, your hands are going to get used to the positions and it's going to be much easier to move when you add in the pattern. So let's go back to bar 4, G major coming down, and then jumping down an octave to a G major, and we have an inverted G major, B, G, D. And then the first pattern comes back in bar 5, where the left hand starts, right hand continues, and we have a D7 chord, D, F sharp, C, and D, A, C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, holding on to the D because that's a quarter note or crotchet. And the next bar, it's a G major, D, G, B, D, G, A, B, A, G, and holding. The final one is again a D7, but this time it's going to be D, A, C, and a root position D major chord. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, jumping up an octave to the D and the D7 chord, D, F sharp, C. 1, 2, 3, and the G major chord, G, B, and G. And G, G. So jumping up to the G and down to the G. And that's the notes. I tried to go as slowly as I could, but you really need to read the notes. And as I said, play it as a blocked chord. And then the really important thing is, once you learn the notes, is to have even rhythm and to make sure that the transition is as smooth as possible. And that was the A section. So a little bit of dynamics there, a crescendo in bar 3, then back to quiet, and you can add some natural dynamics every time the melody is rising, a bit of crescendo when it's falling, a little bit of diminuendo. Now you're supposed to repeat this twice, and then you go on to the B section where we move briefly into E minor. So let's see this B section. The second pattern comes back again, the left, right, left, right. So we have an E minor chord in root position, the right hand copies. Then an E minor chord in first inversion, G, B, E, the right hand copies, 1, 2, 5. Then we have an E minor chord in second inversion, B, E, G, the right hand copies, and an E minor chord in root position and the right hand copies. So again, blocked chords are going to help. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have a crescendo here. So adding on the pattern, again, joining the last and first note of the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. And that was our crescendo part. And then the first pattern comes back again, the left, right, right, left. So we have here again an A minor, but this time it's in the treble clef. So E, A, C, and E, A, C. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, holding, and then an E minor. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and then G, F sharp, E, and jumping down to D sharp, E, and A. So 1, 2, 3, 1. This one is a little bit tricky because the melody is not quite so simple as in the previous bars. And then we have this beautiful solo for the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, A sharp, B, and an octave down. And we're going back to the A section. So the left hand here needs to be a little bit louder because it has these half notes or minims. We have a crescendo and a sforzato on the C, the SF sign, which means stronger. So heavy key attacks into these notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, resonant. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, A sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, and lift. The right hand is going to do C, A, F sharp, and then the thumb is going to move up and down. So first we have C, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, then B, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, then A, back to B, back to C, C sharp, F sharp, E, and the B major arpeggio. And lift. So B, D sharp, F sharp. So very easy, just really watching where the thumb is moving, putting it together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A sharp and B and bounce. And then comes back the A section again, and so on. And when we get to the final bar, where we're supposed to do the repetition, first we repeat it as normal, and then the second time we have a second ending which is going into the final coda section. So let's go from there. We're going to get to our G chord, GB, and the arpeggio here, and jump up to the G. So a G major, and now it's an interesting pattern. The same pattern comes back, pattern number 1, but this time the left hand is going to hold on to the notes. The thing I told you not to do at the start. You can see all these ties. So we basically, as we press them down, we're going to hold them for the entire bar except the last beat. And the right hand is going to go B. So 1, 2, 3, B, D, G. Coming down, and then a C major. E, G, C. Now a C minor. E flat, G, E flat, and G. And the G major chord finally. And here we have an octave higher sign, so D, holding it, and 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, 3. And when we get to the B, we're going to press down the D, 1, 4, 3, G major. So beautiful little cadence coming down. It's up, down, up, down, up, down, using 1, 4, 3. And then we have più lento for the ending, which means slowly, and a very calming ending these sustained half note chords. The first one is an E, B flat, C sharp, G. In some sheet music, you might find an E flat. Some of them have an E. Go whichever you have is fine, but different editions might have different notes there. So 1, 2, and then a G major, D, B, D, G, 1, 2, then a D major 7, D, C, F sharp, B, and it's going to come down to the A, and ending on a G major chord. G, D, B, G. Very quietly, and we have a fermata, so we want to basically wait until the piano dies out and then we lift up. Let's talk a little bit about pedaling, because these were the notes, and I talked about the arching of the hand. You can play it without the pedal because it's still going to sound very nice. It's going to sound very pristine and cleanly articulated. Or you can play it with the pedal, and then you're going to get this angelic church sound, which is going to blend the notes a little bit. So you need to be very careful that the technique behind is correct, because it's hard to hear it, but you need to re-pedal every time the harmony changes. And that basically means when there's a new chord, not necessarily a new inversion, but a new chord, then you need to re-pedal, and make sure you re-pedal after the first note of each chord. So new pedal, new pedal. So basically the first two bars can be pedaled together because it's the same harmony twice. And for the very ending, you would want to pedal for every single chord separately. I hope you'll enjoy this beautiful piece by Burgmuller. It's a big favorite. It's around grade 4, grade 5 level, depending on the exam body and depending on how fast you play it. But it's a very good intermediate study for expressive playing, even playing broken chords, and basically joining the two hands into one unity and being able to control the sound, moving from the left into the right and back.